Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be doing a brand new color. Not only is it new to me, but it's also new to LureWorks, at least if whatever the indicator on their website that says new product is to be believed. And also ignore that that howling sound that you hear. That's actually an AC unit that I have directly underneath me. I don't know if any of you guys know, but it's North Carolina in the middle of June, almost July. It gets hot. We've definitely hit over 100 degrees already, and today's another one of those over 100 degree days. So I got the AC unit kind of blowing air in. It does nothing to heat the rest of the warehouse, but you know, at the very least I can stand here in some cool air. So today we're going to be using this color, Champagne Pepper 262. Now, just based off the color of this, I'm led to believe that it's like a green brown. I don't know though. I've never shot this color. You know, and we're just going to see what it is today. We're going to use a couple different glitters. Previously, some of the videos have been getting just a little bit long, so what we're going to do is I just picked 4 glitters, and that's what we're going to use to kind of demonstrate this color. I didn't pick normal glitters. They're, of course, very weird. Some of you may know I have some business overseas, so I'm directly linked up with a manufacturer of one of these. So, the first one is going to be the yellow. It's like a yellow-green kind of color shift. The next one we're going to use is this teal. And then we have a blue. And then we have like a copper peach. And I know that those aren't the, you know, the normal red, blue, green, right? But I figured we would just use something a little different to kind of show off whatever colors we can bring out of this specific colorant here. So we're going to be using our beaver mold. This is our 4-inch beaver. And we will be right back as soon as our plastic is ready. Okay, we're back. So we've got our plastic ready to go. We've got 1 cup of plastic. We're going to use 35 drops of champagne pepper. Alright, that is about 35 drops there. First impression looks like kind of a brown in the center, kind of a dark green around the outside. Put a little bit down on the counter for you. It's much more brown with a little tinge of red than I was thinking, which, you know, never shot this color before. So we're going to go in with some glitter. We're going to use, normally we'd use 1/8 per cup. Today we're going to use 1/4. And get it nice and glittery. Make sure we can actually see it. There's a heaping quarter. And let's go ahead and mix it up. Okay, that yellow glitter kind of brought out the brown, I guess, a little bit. But let's go ahead and shoot this mold. And let's see what we get. Alright, there we go. We'll be back in 1 second for the demold with the yellow glitter. Okay, we're back. go ahead and pull a little bit of this out. And there is this color. It's definitely a lot more brown than I was thinking it would be. I was thinking that there would be some kind of maybe like a slight tinge of green to it. At least there was when we first poured it. But it's a pretty solid colored brown. I mean, it'd probably be really good for like a Tennessee shad or, you know, laminates if you needed a brown on top. And then of course that glitter, of course some of it looks orange, some of it looks yellow. So let's go ahead and open up this mold and see what the yellow glitter has done with this. You know, I try every time and these things always just kind of come falling out however they want. So that's fine. Just straighten it up a little bit there for you guys. Alright. You can see here there's a little bit of yellow or maybe green as the light passes through it. Yeah, claws look a little yellow. The body, however, is very brown. Let's see here. There you go. Now keep in mind, this could also be the glitter, you know, yellow glitter inside of like a darker colorant. Oftentimes this yellow will kind of like look like an orange or a red, as you can see there. And that will serve to either lighten or darken the color, you know, depending on what color you're using, if it's a color shift, if there's other colors associated with it, right? Like if you were using a red to blue color shift and you used a lot of red glitter, right, obviously that natural red shift would be kind of accentuated a little bit. But there you go, kind of a brown to yellow, and it's really only yellow on the legs when the light passes through it. So, we'll be right back. We're going to do our teal next, and I think we're actually going to do less. We did 35 drops of this on the last one. Let's try 20 on this go-round and see if that does something different with the color. Okay, we're back. So I heated the plastic up. I saved you guys the entire montage of me doing the drops and all that sort of stuff. This is 20 drops of champagne pepper. And let's go ahead in with a quarter of our teal here. And let's see what we get. I don't see much distinction between this and the previous, and I think that's because this is such a saturated color. I don't think that the glitter is like penetrating as far as light, and of course everything works off light, so if it can't penetrate, you're not going to get any sort of shift or anything. We'll go ahead and shoot it. But I don't expect a huge change between this and another color. We will probably have to use either a different glitter, or we could try even less saturation. So that was 20 drops. We could try like 10 drops. And we will probably, since teal is kind of just another blue, we'll probably switch this blue out for a different color and see what we get, just to see if it has a different effect. So we'll be right back for the demolding of this with the teal. Okay, we're back. So let's pull this mold apart and let's see if we have much of a difference. I suspect we won't, but we can see. Okay. That's not bad. Even lighter on the claws as opposed to the first time we shot it. It was kind of only light when the light passed through it. You can kind of see on the ribs there on the end, it looks kind of yellow. That's not bad. And the glitter has unexpectedly turned orange, and I think that's just because it is inside the plastic. There we go. Kind of a yellow over here, brown over here. And I guess you can see a little bit of the teal as I move it around. Kind of reflects, but for the most part it just looks in the plastic and it looks like it's reflecting orange. So there you go. I think for the next one we're going to do 10 drops. And then I've actually selected this. This is called like holographic. Just like black and silver and pink and all colors of the rainbow or whatever. So we're going to drop some of this in and see if we can't get it to lighten up a little bit. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. We went in with 10 drops. I can already see the color's a little bit lighter. You may also be able to see kind of around the edge it looks a little bit more green. We're going to do a quarter of this salt and pepper, or I guess the holographic. And then as a good measure, because it occurred to me, maybe it's the flake, we'll do a quarter of this actual holographic flake. And we'll get that mixed in. Let's see what we get. Definitely kind of yellows the color up a little bit. There's a lot of flake in there. I'm not sure that I actually like it. Which, you know, my opinion means nothing. And you know, if it's something that you look at and you think that it looks good, I mean, 100% of bass will bite at it. That's for sure. Probably just wouldn't be in my main color rotation, but we'll see. I've been surprised before, so we'll see. We'll go ahead and shoot the mold and see what we get. Alright, and we will be right back. And you can see right there I just spilled a bag of glitter. That's like everyone's nightmare right there. So we're going to clean that up and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. That's finally cleaned up. That was a lot of bleach and a lot of scrubbing, but spilling glitter is pretty much the definition of a nightmare. It gets everywhere. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay. Lightened it up a little bit. Get one of these gloves. This mold's getting pretty hot. So definitely lightened it up. I am not a fan of the look of 1,000 different types of glitter. It just kind of looks like dust or something to me. Although they do make a thing called disco shad, like a color, and it's very, very popular. This is like a diluted, maybe like a lighter watermelon brown, or maybe even like a lighter green pumpkin. And this I could see throwing. Now that it's lightened up a little bit, I think the trick is 10 or less drops so far. That's the ticket. Here you go. Now again, I don't like the look of this glitter, but I could have just put too much in there. I mean, I did put two quarters, two different sizes, you know, so I don't like the cluttered look. But that is like a lighter green pumpkin. This, we might come back at the end of this video and just do a straight red, or like a purple and green. You know, the actual green pumpkin magic. or we call it stiff competition magic, but there you go. That is with that disco color, the holographic silver, much lighter. This one we're going to do, let's try 5 drops, and we'll actually go in with some purple and some green and see if we can't bring this color fully out here. Okay, we are back. This time we did 5 drops of champagne pepper, and it is still very dark, which means that the color is just a very saturated color. It's not a bad thing, but just know, if you do 40 drops, like a normal cup measurement, it is going to mess with every other aspect of how light transmits through there. So just know that going into it. We're going to do some purple and green. And let's see how this turns out. This is like the actual green pumpkin magic color. I have a feeling that this is kind of where this color was kind of trying to go as far as what they were going for. Alright, let's go ahead and shoot that. Which is a little weird because they have a color called Green Pumpkin 109. That is the best green pumpkin that I have ever used. It is pretty much the industry standard for green pumpkin anything, so in coming out with another color, why would they come out with a color they already have, right? So we'll see on the demold of this one. I just have a feeling that lighter saturations with this color are kind of yield exactly what it is that you're looking for. If this is any example, this is just kind of the stuff off the top. This isn't really very saturated or anything. If it were rolled up, it would kind of be like this. But we'll go ahead and we'll be back in 1 minute. We'll open up this mold and we'll show you what we got. Okay, we're back. This is the sprue out of the mold. I just kind of ripped it right out of there. You can see that lighter saturations plus the green have kind of really made this. They also make a color called like kudzu, and I think this resembles this. Kind of like a tinted green type of deal. So let's go ahead and open the mold, see what we get. And then we'll do one more after this, and that will be our video. Alright. Sorry, I'm just trying to quickly adjust these for you. Now this is a little bit closer to something that I might be confident in throwing at least. It's very light colored, definitely tinted green. You can see the sprue there, very green. Legs are almost transparent as light passes through it. But the body you can see is a little bit stacked. And we did 5 drops for this batch, so I think like between 5 and 10 drops is going to be what you want to focus on. And you can see this is more of a greenish, kind of amber down here on the claws. And this is kind of approaching something much more like I'd be confident in throwing this color. The browns are alright. They're not really something I normally throw. If you want like a very natural presentation, brown is always popular. Brown does really well with laminates, you know, like the tops of shrimp, or if you were to laminate this right here, you know, just like a brown back and like a pearl belly, Tennessee shad, a lot of companies call that. That is a good color, but it's because the brown is being offset by something. But just something straight brown, as with the darker variants of this, just not my favorite to throw. But this could definitely get thrown. And we'll be right back. We're going to do 7 drops, and we're going to switch, and we're going to do a red, and then we'll also do some of this, like peachy copper. Okay, we're back. In the last section, we determined that 7 drops was our ideal saturation, at least my ideal saturation. So, we're going to be going, again, I saved you the video of me doing the drops. It's very uninteresting, but I do have another surprise for you guys. In a prior video, I actually demoed some stuff called 2x2. It was gold flake. This is red 2x2. This stuff is completely different than anything that is on the market. You can't buy it in Barlow's or LureWorks or any of the other places. This is strictly an overseas made thing. But they make 2x2. I demoed the 2x2 gold, which is one of my favorite colors of all time. This is the 2x2 red. They of course make 2x2 purple, green, blue, yellow, you know, every kind of color under the sun. So we're going to do a quarter of this 2x2, and then we're also going to go in with a quarter of this like peachy yellow. And just for your information, this peachy yellow, I don't know if you can see this, but this is completely cut different. You see there on the top. And at some point we will be selling this in different colors, just not right now. So, alright, let's get this mixed in, see what we get. If the green from what we just shot, if that glitter brought out like more of the green, then this red will definitely have brought out more of the brown, or more of the, I don't know, amber kind of hues. But we'll see. I mean, I've been surprised before, like I keep saying, but just based off of what it looks like in the cup, it looks like this red and kind of peach colored glitter has brought out the more brown in this color. But we'll take a look here in 1 minute. Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and open up this mold and see what we got. Okay. Put these gloves on here. Kind of a light amber. You can kind of see here green. So as light passes through it, and there's another good shot, you can kind of see green here, green here, green here. Alright, so it's kind of a very amber green, very light colored. There's a close-up on the body. And as I was saying earlier, a lot of this stuff is going to depend on the color of the flake that you use. So there's a close-up, kind of an amber green, maybe a little bit of red in here, and you can kind of see green around the edge here. That's a good shot right there. But the red and the, of course, the peach color are really going to serve to lighten it up, I guess. So it's more of a browny green. And I would probably, this probably wouldn't be my go-to color either. But, I mean, this would catch fish. 100% this would catch fish. So if I had these laying around on the boat, I ran out of something else, or they were really just not biting at anything, I'd probably put one of these on and just see what I could get here. So there you go. That is champagne pepper. We'll be right back in one moment, and I'll show you the progression, just an image of all the different color saturations that we use today. Okay, we're back. Alright, this is going to be the very last part of this video here. This is our saturation table, as I'm going to call it. We can see from left to right, these are the ones that we cast, and in the order that we cast them. So we had 35 drops, we had 20 drops, we had 10 drops, we went all the way the opposite direction, we had 5 drops, and then this down here, we had 7 drops. Now, of course, keep in mind, the color glitter that you use to mix in, of course, is going to either bring forth, or it's going to either like heighten or damper whatever color it is that is in the colorant, right? So I think these saturations, 20 and 35 drops, I think they were just too dark for anything. You might be able to, you know, if you added like a blue or green or purple or something like in here, I think it would probably, you would definitely see it. But with these two saturations, remember, we use two different color glitters, and it's just so saturated that it just looks like exactly the same bait. This one looks a little bit lighter, but as far as the sparkle of the glitter, you can't really see any difference. And then we have this one. This is the, let's see, 35, 20. This is the 10 drop. And I think the mistake we made here was just this, man, I really just don't like this disco shad look. This look where there's like, it's just completely packed full of flake. I think that's gross. I'd probably never throw this. I mean, look, I would throw it if it was the last thing that I had, and that's what the fish are biting at, but this is just about as unattractive as a bait as you can get. And before everyone starts screaming, oh, you don't have to catch the bait, you know, the fishermen, you have to catch the fish. That's true, except for the fact that people that are far more confident in the bait they're throwing are, of course, going to spend more money with you, right? And it's not all about money, but you know, you have to capture the intrigue of the fishermen via the quality of the bait and how it looks before you capture fish with it. And I think this is just disgusting. I'd probably never throw this right here. Then we have our true, this is kind of, like I said, it reminded me of that kudzu color, very light green and purple flake. I'd throw this, definitely a good color to have. And then down at the end here we have 7 drops, so a little bit more saturation, but the flake, the red 2x2, kind of really brings out that brown amber color. That's a good shot there. So there you have it. That is champagne pepper. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments.